Hello and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. Today, I am sitting down with someone I've known for a very long time, George Kokkinos. If you've never had the pleasure of eating at Margie's Dream Diner in Manchester or Charlie's Homestyle Diner in Merrimack, you're missing out on some of the best breakfast and lunch in southern New Hampshire. Margie's has been serving Manchester since 1975. That's over 50 years. And George has been at the helm for the last 15 to 17 years or so. He's kept the tradition alive while running 2 restaurants that feel like home the moment you walk in. We're going to talk about what it takes to keep a small diner thriving, the Greek heritage that shows up on his menu, and what it really means to feed a community. Let's go beyond the plate. So, welcome, George.
Thank you very much, Carol, for having me.
I'm very excited to have you on. This is fun. I love it when I've known you for how many years? We've known each other for 30, since the Red Arrow, right?
I don't even want to say, but I think it's close to 40 years. I think it was actually before the Red Arrow.
Was it before the Red Arrow? So 40 years, because Red Arrow's 39 years.
Yep, goes back to Belmont Hall era.
Oh my, that's right.
Yeah, and we're going to tell everyone we're just like 10 or 15 years old back then.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true, right? When you think about it that way. Oh gosh. Before we get too deep into this, people know where you're located, and I know you have a couple of different social medias. Is it Facebook only?
Facebook only. Margie's is 172 Hayward Street in Manchester. It's definitely a destination. We're not a drive-by. It's kind of funny sometimes. We'll have people come in from 3 blocks away and never knew we were there.
I know, right? Isn't that funny when you hear that?
It's crazy. So we get that all the time. So that's Manchester, Margie's. Charlie's is 600 Danny Webster Highway in Merrimack. The Merrimack community has been great to us and the surrounding communities. We've done very well there.
Beautiful. And you do have 2 websites.
We do.
So Margie's Dream Diner NH.com and Charlie's Homestyle Diner.com. So that's where you can find him on socials. All right. So let's talk. So Margie's Dream has been around since 1975.
Correct.
That's 50 years, right? Do you know what the story is behind the name?
We kept the name. Margie Paul started Margie's in 1975. My late wife and I were customers there for probably 17, 18 years. Met a lot of good friends there, had a lot of laughs. Unfortunately, Marge passed away, a number of years ago now, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Sad. Everyone loved Marge. She was very unique. So after Marge passed, her husband, Paul, continued to run it with his granddaughter, Jen. And the theme of the restaurant was still there. Jen did a great job, and Paul was just Paul. Everyone loved the place. As I said, we met a lot of nice people there. So when Paul ended up passing away, my late wife, Becky, had this idea, well, let's move in and keep it going. So
I remember that.
So we did. And, prior to making that big decision, I actually came in and I believe I met with you and your father, George. And I'll never forget the words of your father. He said, first of all, you got to be a people person. And secondly, you got to sell a lot of eggs to make money. And I will never forget those words.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, you got to remind him of that. He'll like that.
Absolutely. I
love it.
So we know your father did, quite well in this business and knows it inside and out. And I was very appreciative to get that head start from him.
Yeah, how nice. And I just want a little side note story on Margie and Paul, because of course I grew up at Belmont Hall, my parents' restaurant, and I would waitress on Friday nights. And every Friday night, like clockwork, I don't remember the exact time, but we'll say it was 5 o'clock or whatever, but Margie and Paul would come in every Friday night, and we used to fight about who would wait on them because they were big tippers.
They were.
Oh my gosh. We used to be like, I got Margie tonight. Actually, we ended up like taking turns on Fridays to wait on Margie and Paul.
That is funny.
Good people.
They had their little haunts around the city of Manchester, and they treated everyone like gold.
They did. I can remember eating in there. And I mean, this is a podcast, so we can say this. Do you remember when he used to have his cigarettes right there and he'd be smoking
Absolutely.
at the freaking grill?
Absolutely. Ashes would be hanging off the cigarette, and it didn't faze anybody.
I know. At the time, when you think about it today, people would flip out.
Crazy.
It's like so hilarious.
Yeah. And Marge was she was just a hoot. Somebody would sit at the table, it was dirty, and they'd kind of complain, and the next thing you know, there was a wet rag flying through the air. So
true.
she was something special. She was something special.
I like that. So basically, my next question was what drew you to the diner? I guess Becky is the one that kind of opened that up because you were an electrician.
I was. You
had your own company.
Yeah, I started the electrical contracting business, and then I got into the home building business. I built high-end homes for 20 years, and I think there was a downturn in the economy, and we were ready to do something else. So we leased the building. I purchased the equipment from Paul's kids, and we were off and running. So we kind of, right by the seat of our pants, we just got the thing going. And, we've had a few cooks through the years.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, to say the least, right? And cooks, servers, you name it. So the first 4.5 years that we were there, there was another girl and myself were the servers for the first 4.5 years. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I still...
Didn't Becky serve?
She did. She also
cooked, though.
Baked
or did...
Mostly baking.
Right.
She loved to bake.
Right.
So, for the first 4.5 years, I was a server. And then as we grew, obviously, we hired some more people on board. I was not a cook when we got into this, but I'm actually a pretty good breakfast cook now. You kind of learn a little bit from each cook that runs through there.
That's right.
So I've become a pretty decent breakfast cook. And I like to jump in once in a while. If somebody calls out, I jump in. Pretty much do anything, whether it's washing dishes or serving tables or running food or whatever.
We do it all.
We do it all. And it's enjoyable. I still enjoy it after all these years.
Well, we have to, because it's not. Okay, so there's two sides to this. When I was interviewing Pat Mills, I love saying this. He's the owner of Bonfire. And we talk about, and you must hear it a lot too. People come up to you and they're like, I have this dream. I want to open a restaurant. And we're like, are you crazy? But deep down, we love it.
We do love it. We do love it. It's a lot of work. I think a lot of people do not understand what it takes to run a restaurant. That's for sure.
That is so true.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hours.
It is. And we wear many hats.
Many.
From psychiatrist to banker to friend to, we wear many, many hats. Union leader called it Manchester's best kept secret. How do you feel about that?
Well, that was probably an article way back from John Clayton, maybe.
Ah, okay.
I would say.
The Monday columns.
Exactly.
Those were famous. I wish he did that again.
Yeah. So John Clayton was a regular customer at Margie's, but we have that on our menus. I believe it is the best kept secret because, as I said earlier, the people from 2 or 3 blocks away just never knew we were there.
That's just crazy.
And just stumble in or happen to drive down Haywood Street.
I love it. So you've got Margie's in Manchester, and then how did Charlie's come about? I mean, where, 2 locations? How do you divide your time?
That was an interesting story. I happened to be sitting into my little makeshift office in the basement of Margie's, and the phone rang one day, and somebody says, I'm so-and-so, and we just took this property over in Merrimack, and we heard that you wanted to open up a second restaurant. So the first words out of my mouth, honestly, were, you got to be crazy. Where did you hear that?
Yeah, who told you that?
So curiosity got the best of me. It was on a Friday. I drove down there. I don't even remember what the name was. Way back, it was Ruthie's Postal Parlor. I think Ruthie was there.
Ruthie's Postal Parlor?
Right. Well, it was the first post office in Merrimack. That was the location.
Oh, okay.
So Ruthie had it 28 years. She did very well, very, community-oriented person. So I think she had passed it on, and the people that were in that after her were a very short period of time. So lo and behold, I went down there out of curiosity. I probably had maybe one of the worst breakfasts ever. So to be honest, so then my wheels started spinning, and I moved forward with it. It hadn't been remodeled since the 70s. We went through the entire property, renovated, and started with, 1 cook, second cook, and, we're off and running. I got a great staff down there today, Mike and Kerry and Michelle and Anna, who you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Anna's been all around.
And the people love her. So I got a great staff down there. Same with Margie's, great staff. And that's kind of how Charlie started.
So let's talk about the name. There's a story behind that. So how did you come up with?
There is. Actually, that was my late father's name, Charlie. He was a school teacher at Central High School, 34 years. And he was just a breakfast guy. Has loved to go out to breakfast. So when we opened that location, we decided to name it after my father.
Love it. Your mom must have been so.
Yep, she was thrilled. She was thrilled. She used to just. I think she was happy. He was just gone out of the house and on his little errands. But he used to go buy breakfast by himself. He just loved it. Loved it.
Are you a breakfast person?
I am.
I am not. And people can get a kick out of that because I own diners and I'm not. I mean, I will eat it like I went to your place the other day and I had delicious eggs Benedict. And we are going to talk about that other side dish that I had. Stay tuned to listen. Okay, so you are a breakfast person.
I am.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like you. I kind of go from here to there. This morning, I had breakfast in Hampton. I actually live at Hampton Beach. And I've tried a lot of different places around the beach, and I like to see what other people are doing.
Of course, you get different ideas that way.
Different ideas, and on everything, on the cooking end, and how they serve, how they do business. So it's nice.
So running two places, two diners, how do you deal with the consistency in each one?
I do have good management in both. I spend most of my time here in Manchester.
Knock on wood right now.
Knock on wood right now, exactly. As I stated earlier, I have great staff in Merrimack, great staff in Manchester. So right now, the wheels are turning pretty good.
Good. So that isn't, because for us, it's difficult. I don't know if it's because there's 4 locations, but it's.
I'm sure the volume to do also is more difficult. But
good.
As you all know, you have people come and go, and cooks come and go through the years. But
yeah.
You train them to, and the important thing in any restaurant business is consistency.
Yeah, definitely. Quality and consistency.
Exactly.
Key to, that's what David Lamontagne said to me, the original owner of the Red Arrow Sun. So, yeah. Okay, so both menus, Charlie's and Margie's, they feature some Greek specialties, spanakopita, baklava. Tell me about bringing your heritage to your menu.
Well, the baklava has kind of fallen by the wayside. My wife used to do that. My mother taught her how to do that. What's really popular is the spanakopita. My mother used to make that for her. She's 94 years young.
And she's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. So she got, it was hard for her, the big pan in and out of the oven. So for a while there, we had trained one of the waitresses to make the spanakopita. My mother trained her, and it was kind of funny because, layer after layer of the phyllo dough, you got to butter it. And I think the worst thing is working with that phyllo dough. It's thinner than paper. So it was funny.
I did that recipe once, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah. So this individual went to my mother's house. She walked her through the steps. She says, "Oh, it makes you butter." So, this individual said, "Yeah, well, am I doing okay?" "Yeah, perfect. Well, at the end, there was, maybe 1/2 inch of butter left in that pan with the brush sticking in it. And my mother said, "How come there's so much butter left over?"
Oh, geez.
So she was a little bit devastated, but she caught on, did a great job. And she moved on, and I now do it.
Ah, okay.
So,
well, that's kind of cool. You're keeping the tradition of your mom's recipes.
It is. And, it flies out the door.
Yeah.
And we sell it by the piece, or we sell it for breakfast and lunch. Well, breakfast you can get with a couple eggs. Lunch you can get it with a veg. Around the holidays, we sell entire pans of it.
Wow.
So, it does fly out the door.
I love it. Okay, so this was the item that I was talking about. I mean, your homemade potato pancakes seem to be legendary. People specifically mention them in reviews. What's the secret? I mean, I just had some 3-4 days ago.
Basically, mashed potato,
real mashed potatoes.
Real mashed potato, very finely chopped bacon.
There's bacon in there?
Yes, very, very finely chopped bacon.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and spices, and that's pretty much it. It's not, rocket science in any way, the stretch of the imagination, but it's very popular, very, very popular.
They are so good. They're so good. They're very good. I had the eggs Benedict. That's like one of my go-to things if I eat breakfast. I eat breakfast usually on vacation, and if I go out every so often to visit George or my sister or whatever. But those potato pancakes. Oh, and I also got sausage gravy. Delicious. I am a sausage gravy snob. I'm a sausage gravy snob.
We do a lot of Southern Benedicts.
Oh.
Yeah.
With sausage gravy.
Yeah. It's actually a biscuit, poached egg on top, and sausage gravy.
I don't like a biscuit.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of biscuits either.
I'm not a fan of biscuits or croissants.
Yeah. We do croissants as a special once in a while, maybe with chicken salad or something like that. But
people like them. They definitely like their.
They do.
They like their.
It's funny you bring up croissants because in Merrimack they're super popular.
See, it's funny, location specific things.
It's location specific.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Funny.
Exactly. What sells down there won't sell here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, we try it back and
like
forth.
When we do specials throughout the diners, it'll do great in Concord and Nashua sells none. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What? It's just so strange.
Yeah,
but,
it's crazy.
So the Golden Dream duo, poached eggs and spinach on bacon cheddar potato pancakes. I mean, seriously, with hollandaise. Who came up with that?
I actually came up with that from the beginning. We were kind of tossing things around and we wanted to put something different on the menu, a couple different things on the menu. So Becky and I actually came up with that. It's extremely popular, extremely popular.
When I read that, I was like, whoa, I missed that on the menu.
Yeah. And the other one that is extremely popular also is the Rumble, which is the scrambled eggs with spinach and tomatoes topped with hollandaise sauce.
Yum.
It's crazy. These things are just...
People like their bowls.
They do.
They definitely do. One other thing that you're very popular for, popular at your place is the Fresh Fish Fridays. It's a tradition that feels almost old school New England. So is that something you brought, or I think Margie and Paul, right? It was
Marge and Paul, and we've kind of kept the tradition. People, it's changed a little bit because people are like fish on Friday, fish on Friday, fish on Friday. So
it always was like that.
Yeah, so that's changed a lot, but it was funny that people, and that's all they served on Fridays, Marge and Paul. If you went in there and ordered a burger, quote unquote, Marge, Creamland's right up the road.
Are you kidding? I didn't know that.
I am not kidding you.
So Fridays, that's all they served?
All they would serve was fish. You wanted the burger, she'd ship you up to Creamland.
I never knew that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She was something special.
So if somebody has not been to, let's start with Margie's, Hidden Gem in Manchester, Hayward Street, kind of diagonal, like from Therian Roofing that's been around for many, many years. Walk somebody through the front door and what they can expect walking in.
Door, a very small vestibule. I think the minute you walk through the door, you kind of feel like you're at home, and that's how we want everyone to feel. So it's small, it's tiny. We have the old-fashioned booths, which the booths in there were kind of beat up from the earlier years. So there's a story behind the booths also.
Ooh, I want to hear that.
I actually drove up to the Mount Washington. Those booths came off of the Mount Washington. And I hauled them back to Manchester. We cleaned them up, and those are actually the booths.
Like the Mount Washington Hotel? Or
the boat.
The boat. Okay.
The boat, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we drove up there with a U-Haul truck and loaded them in and did some repainting on the legs and so forth. So that's the story behind the booths.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I think you have 8 booths?
We have 8 booths, 5 counter seats.
5 counter seats. And the counter seats, I mean, whenever Daryl and I, we love diners, obviously. So whenever we travel, we always scout out diners. And we always sit at the counter. I mean,
people fight over the counter.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, and there's only 5 seats there.
Yeah, well, that's where all the gossip goes on.
Of course, and you get like a front row seat to the show. I mean,
it is a show sometime.
Of course, it is.
It is a show sometime. Absolutely, absolutely
fun. So Charlie's in Merrimack is a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. The menu is pretty much identical.
Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. The names are a little different down there. We have the Charlie Chaplin. We have the Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese.
So
what's the Chuck E. Cheese? I'm curious.
I think that just scrambled with cheese on top.
Okay.
That's all basically. But so the menus are virtually identical. The names
just a little quirky.
Just a little quirky.
Yeah. Love it. But walk them through the front door.
Charlie's.
Yeah.
Charlie's is obviously a little bigger than Margie's. Down there, our grill is actually up front in the dining room, so you're actually, watching.
When you sit at the counter, you're right there.
You're right there. So
I haven't been there for a while. I have to go.
Yeah, so there's 10 counter seats at Charlie's, and then tables and chairs. It was a little larger, so we're able to do tables and chairs there, unlike Margie's. Other than that, like I said, the grill is right there, so you're actually, watching your breakfast being cooked. Which is kind of exciting with people.
Yeah, and it's like a stage.
It's a stage, and it gives the cooks, a chance to interact with the customers, which is really nice. So, like I said earlier, Merrimack has treated us very well. Merrimack and the surrounding communities, we got a whole pile of regulars that enjoy us. Mike down there, who is the manager, homemade soups every day, desserts every day, different desserts, homemade desserts. That's about it. A great bunch of people down there, a great bunch of people here in Manchester.
Yeah. I mean, having a restaurant, diner's so small. Let's talk about the regulars, because you have regulars. And then unfortunately, too, they die because we've been there for so long. So you get to know them. And, for me, I know people at the diner that, started eating there in their teens and now they're married with 5 kids. It's like, what? You go through all those phases of their life.
And unfortunately, a lot have passed away.
I know.
After
so
being
sad.
there 17 years, when Margie's closed and we were renovating, we had people knocking on the door every day. When are you going to open? When are you going to open? And those are people that were Marge and Paul's customers for years and years and years. And, when we got them, they were in their 70s and 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they, and for us, sometimes we don't, I'm sure this is the same for you. Like I'll go into the diner and they'll go, did you hear 2 dropped eggs soft with beans on the side died? And we're like, oh my gosh, you're kidding. You know them by what they ate.
And you identify them by what they eat. There's a gentleman that walks through that door every single day, hash and cheese omelet, white toast, hash browns, every single day, every single day. And, I'll see him coming and I'll yell into the kitchen, hash and cheese omelets on his way in.
Hash and cheese, why we call them by their name.
Yeah, exactly.
Soupy beans was one of them too at the diner.
Yeah, soupy beans, soupy oatmeal. So it is funny. You do identify your customers by what they eat.
Yeah, you do.
And they are creatures of habit. We have one gentleman that comes in every morning at 7:00 at Margie's. He has to sit and counter one. And
is that the first one by the door or the other way?
Actually,
it's the other way?
The other way.
Okay.
The other way. So he's got to sit there. He walks through that door.
So what if someone's sitting there?
Well, he's not too happy, but he kind of scoots over. But as soon as they get up, he moves over. He moves over.
I love it.
Yeah. Kind of funny, but I think I did the same thing. I think I did the same when I was a customer there years ago. And back then, it was like pagers and, everyone didn't have a cell phone. And so I kind of sat there in the morning and did my business. And all of a sudden, Marge would stop pouring the coffee. And I'd like, more coffee, Marge? She said, no, you've been here long enough. See you tomorrow.
Get out.
See you tomorrow. And that's who Marge was. She was a hoot. That's for sure.
Cool. This episode is powered by Red Arrow Diner. All 4 locations officially open around the clock. Swing by Manchester, Nashua, Concord, or Londonderry whenever hunger hits. From pancakes at 2 a.m. to fries and gravy for breakfast, we've got your cravings covered. Red Arrow, New Hampshire's favorite 24-hour diner tradition. Your dad, Charles, we talked about it. He was a Manchester school teacher for years and an umpire for Babe Ruth baseball.
He was.
Yeah. How did growing up in that family, shape the way you run your business?
Well, my parents always taught us respect, for sure. My father was, as you said, a school teacher at Central. I actually went to Memorial. So that was kind of nice in a way, I guess.
I think so.
Kind of nice. But always about respect and, helping somebody out. Or trying to, involve somebody in something that they didn't know anything about. So my parents were excellent role models.
Love it. So what does it mean to you to be part of the Greek Orthodox community?
Well, we have a big family. A lot have passed on it, so the family has shrunken some. But my grandfather, Apostolos Liamos, they called him Toli for short. He had a Greek market in Nashua, and he started that in 1928. My aunt, who is my mother's sister, and her son took it over, and they just closed it, I think, 1990 maybe. But I grew up in the store. I worked there weekends. And again, good work ethics.
Yeah, we were all brought up with good work ethics.
We were. I can remember going to Haymarket Square with my grandfather, and he was age 70, 75, and he had 50 pounds of potatoes over one shoulder and 50 pounds of potatoes over the other shoulder. So it's crazy, but we learned, not just good, but great work ethics.
Yeah.
Great work.
The kids today, they don't know that.
Yeah, and if you're in business for yourself. It's 7 days a week. It's with you 7 days a week. No matter whether you're on vacation, that phone's ringing or whatever, but you got to be there for your employees.
For sure. Okay, so we talked about your regulars that have been coming in for years. What do you think makes them keep coming back?
Well, I think it's the food. It's definitely the entertainment. I think they like to come in and watch maybe two of the employees banter back and forth, or myself banter back and forth with somebody.
Let's talk about when you had to you were serving.
I was.
By yourself a few times.
Yes, absolutely.
And you did a darn good job.
I do pretty good.
Now you could call me because I'm free. I could go help.
All right.
I could be your busser.
Well, be careful there because that phone might ring.
Yeah, okay.
That phone might ring. But yeah, occasionally somebody will call out and we can't get another server to fill in. So I'll drive in and I'll do it. On occasion, I've been the cook and the server. So I've done that a couple times.
Oh, yikes.
And that's interesting. It's very interesting. But
that's very interesting.
You get through it. You just get through it. You just do it. So if the girls are overwhelmed with washing dishes on the weekend, I'll jump in and wash some dishes or whatever you need to do. Wash the floor, sweep the floor.
So that you think they come, well, food, definitely. Food and entertainment. Yeah.
A lot of it's the entertainment and definitely the food.
Okay, so what is the hardest part about running a small independent diner in today's economy?
Well, I think pricing is tough, as you well know. Just the cost of food just is up and up and up and up. We used to pay $6 for a gallon of mayonnaise, and I want to say it's like $11.50 now.
Terrible.
It's crazy, and it's not only the beef or the eggs, we went through that whole egg thing.
That was for diners, right? Like,
just
holy
incredible.
crap.
A diner, eggs are the entire business. So those were rough times, but we made it through. We adjusted and moved forward.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, so I would say food costs are probably the worst enemy in the past few years, and they're still on the climb.
How do you think you're competing with or how do you compete with the food chains?
Well, I think we're probably a little bit less money than the food chains are. I try to keep our menu a little bit under. When I do contemplate a menu change, I visit 4 or 5 diners in the area.
Yeah.
I go have breakfast. I sit down. I observe. I've been over to Franco's. I go to Belmont Hall. Your sister Kathy and I have a good relationship. Yeah. If she gets one of my past employees or vice versa,
communication.
There's some communication there. So it helps us both. And honesty is always the best policy there. That's for sure. So, I have people that work for me that work over there now that have done very well, very well.
If you could give advice to someone that's thinking about opening a diner, what would you tell them?
Don't do it.
See, that's just like what Pat Mills said. We both were like, are you nuts?
And I'll repeat what your father told me. You got to be a people person. I think that's the first step. You got to be a people person. You're selling basically, a $10 breakfast, and you got to sell a lot of $10 breakfast.
Yeah, you do.
And it's not only food that's gone up, all the overhead has gone up.
Labor
is up tremendously. Utilities are crazy. So it's a lot to think about. Yeah, but
for sure.
It's hard. Even the larger restaurants. As you know, I'm a big fan of the back room. I'm up there almost nightly. And
I'd say at least 6 a week.
I would say so. You're correct. A creature of habit. But anyway,
I keep trying to get him to try something new, but he won't.
Yeah. Creature habit, and it's fast. It's easy. The food is awesome. It's the staff. The staff is awesome up there. Arthur Pappas has done a great job up there, and
it's an institution.
It is. The nice thing is, if Arthur walks by, Arthur stops every time we have a conversation. If it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes, or if he's in a hurry, he'll stop, shake my hand, and make sure everything's going well. So that has a lot to do with the restaurant business, and I think in the success of the restaurant business. People like to see the owner.
They do.
So I sit down with a lot of people on the weekend. I'll sit down with, an older couple or some newcomers. So they feel welcome. They feel like it's home.
Exactly.
So I think that's what you want.
That's the key. Right. That is the key. You got it. Is there anything that I might have missed before we move on that you want people to know about either Margie's or Charlie's?
I think we pretty much touched on everything, Carol. We have an extensive menu. We're a big menu for.
We talked a bit about breakfast. Let's just maybe name a few of your lunch items.
Lunch items are your typical diner items. We do homemade pork pie, which is a recipe that my wife actually got from an old neighbor from my old neighborhood, and she kind of put her own spin on it. And that's another thing that flies out the door, either by the piece or by
or a whole pie.
Or a
Yep.
whole pie.
Yep.
We do the spanakopita. We do 8-ounce sirloin steak. We do Reubens, hot hamburger sandwiches, the typical diner food.
Typical things.
Typical
yeah.
diner food. And that's what people want.
They do.
Yeah.
Comfort food. Diners
Exactly.
/ comfort food.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm on it. The kick I'm on when I go to the diner is a side of buffalo chicken mac and cheese. Doesn't get more comfort than that. Oh my gosh.
Good stuff.
So we're going to do a lightning round,
Oh boy.
right?
I can't
This
wait.
is fun. So what's your favorite thing on the menu at Margie's?
Favorite
Margie's or Charlie's, because they're both pretty much the same.
They're both identical. I'm an omelet person, and I would say either an omelet or Benedict.
Ah, okay. Coffee, how do you take it?
I'm a tea drinker, believe it or not.
Have you always been a tea drinker?
I have not. As of maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I just, I don't know how. I just,
Like Lipton tea?
yeah, just plain old regular tea, or sometime Earl Grey. But I am a tea drinker. People love our coffee. It's crazy. People comment on our coffee every day.
Yeah, that's
Every day.
important in a diner to have
It
good
is.
coffee.
It is.
I mean,
And you want to talk about a price increase. That is like out of sight. I think 3 years ago we were paying maybe 3 or 4 years ago $99 a case. Then it jumped to $129, and it jumped to $149. It recently jumped to $159. So it's crazy, and it's not only the coffee. It's it's the condiments. It's the cream, the sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
That have all shot up in price.
Do you remember back in the day when coffee used to go at your breakfast?
Yep. Yeah.
Remember when that shift changed? It was like, I remember that was like a big deal at the diner.
It did. And
People
the Red Barn, which closed a few years back, which is on Elm Street, and they used to include a coffee with every meal.
Still? I mean, they're closed.
They're
but
closed.
Yes.
But still, yeah, they did. Fortunately, I have one of their servers, Brenda.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Who worked there for many, many years. And she was when she came aboard, she was just a little afraid of the POS system because
it was all
we
on
started
paper.
at Margie's, we hand wrote all the tickets, and same thing at the Red Barn. So I told her, Brenda, if I can learn how to use this POS system, you certainly can. You certainly can.
Now she must be like, this is so much better.
Absolutely.
I mean, people just don't like change. We're changing the POS at the diners right now.
Yeah.
And I walk in the diners and the girls are like scowling at me, like, "Arr," but.
Which one do you choose?
Well, that's a whole other
mystery.
Yeah. And they're expensive.
They are.
Ridiculous.
It is a necessary evil, that's for sure.
Which do you prefer cooking?
Breakfast.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoy cooking breakfast. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Not a big fan of cooking lunch. But, I just do what needs to be done.
Yeah, it's true. What is the best thing about Manchester?
Manchester, I think it's the diversity. There's all kinds of people walk through that door. And it's kind of nice. I'm born and raised here in Manchester. I lived in Bedford for a number of years. And now I live out at the seacoast. But I still enjoy coming to Manchester every day. It's, it's lively. It's definitely colorful nowadays. Definitely colorful. I think that's a good word for it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Colorful.
I like that.
But, I think there's a certain rhythm about Manchester that's, it's enjoyable. And I've met so many nice people in the city of Manchester. So many.
Yeah. Okay, so if you weren't running diners, besides electrician, what would you be doing?
Oh, my goodness. I may go back to building homes. That was one of my best loves, I guess. And that's a tough business. All the businesses are tough. All the businesses are tough. But I do enjoy, going into the restaurant every day. I get down to Merrimack 2, 3, 4 times a week. But as I say, I have great staff at both.
Yeah, you're lucky.
So occasionally, if I want to sleep in late, I can pull that off a couple days a week.
Without them, George, where are you?
Oh, no, the phone still rings. The phone still rings, and the text messages still come through. But this is part of being in business.
It is. One word that describes your customers.
One word that describes customers. Family.
There we go.
Family.
I like that.
Yeah, family.
I like that. Family, loyal.
Absolutely.
Proudest moment in years of owning Margie's.
Oh, proudest year.
Proudest moment.
Proudest moment.
In the years that you've owned it. Like, what is there?
I think when I finally got to be let's say a very good cook. I never thought I could do it because I learned a little from every cook that's been through the years. So I stand back today and I look into the kitchen and I tend to criticize. Criticize. Well, as they call it, micromanaging. But as you learn a little bit from everyone and all those little secrets that every one of those people has that's been through, it's important. And if you compile all those, I think you become a really, really good cook.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. I like that. So, George, when you look at everything that you built over the last 15 plus years, keeping Margie's dream alive, opening Charlie's, feeding all these families, what is it that you're most proud of?
Carol, I think it's all of that. I've done a lot of different things, and honestly, every business that I have started, I've kind of jumped in and just done it by the seat of my pants. Just jumped in feet first and made it happen. Much like you, we've known each other a long time, and you've done a number of things, and I think you're the same way. I think you just jump in and
give it our all, and
give it your all, and you make it work.
Yeah.
No matter what, you just make it work. You got to put the time in, you got to put the effort in, and just do it.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
This was really great. So if you guys have not been to Margie's or Charlie's, and Marge is in Manchester, Hayward Street, and Charlie's is in Merrimack, right on DW Highway. Can't miss it. Get on over and check out his potato pancakes because they're crazy stupid, really good. Love it. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
George Kokkinos grew up watching his father, Charles, serve the Manchester community as a teacher, as a Babe Ruth umpire, and as someone who showed up. Now, George does the same thing, just with eggs and hash browns. Margie's Dream Diner has been a Manchester institution since 1975, and George has been at the helm since 2010. Along with Charlie's Homestyle Diner in Merrimack, he's feeding families the way his Greek heritage taught him, with care, with quality, and with a whole lot of heart. You can find Margie's at margiesdreamdinernh.com and follow both restaurants on Facebook. Thanks for listening to Beyond the Plate.